My name is Jan Benham, founder and CEO of the Aroma Shop and Jan Benham Cosmetics. Today I'm going to talk about the latest addition to our cosmetics, some natural mineral foundation. Now this is not just any old foundation. It's also designed to help with people with skin problems such as rosacea, eczema, and even acne. So it's not going to just cover the condition, but it's going to help with the inflammation and help to soothe and heal at the same time. Now all our cosmetics right from the early 1980s have always been 100% natural and holistic. All the ingredients have been ethically sourced and also cruelty-free. And of course 100% natural. So in this line of mineral foundation, it's not like the powders that you would have purchased before with mineral foundation. We only carry 8 colors, going from the lightest of shades right to quite a deep brown color as well. So we cover quite a lot of the population of colors. So what does make our foundation unique? Well, first of all, it doesn't contain any titanium dioxide. So I've been working a lot with making colors for foundations over the years for people with darker skins. And as soon as you add anything on the skin that contains titanium dioxide, it leaves an ashy tone to the skin. So although this applies mostly to darker skin colors, I also put it through the whole range here. So none of these foundations contain any titanium dioxide. And of course they don't contain any talc, boron nitride, or anything else, or FD&C dyes and so on. But I'm not going to really concentrate on what they don't contain. What I'm going to talk about is what they do contain. So one of the main ingredients in this foundation and why it works so well is that it contains zinc. Now zinc is usually lacking in most human beings. In fact, I take zinc sulfate myself internally in order to help my own body, my skin, hair and nails and so forth. And it also helps with the immune system as well. Externally, when you apply zinc, zinc acts as an antifungal agent and it's also anti-inflammatory. It also happens to have a very sticky feel to it, so it helps the foundation to stick to the skin. The other ingredient that is in these foundations is silica. And again, silica is also something I take internally for helping for my growth of my skin. It also helps with the formation of collagen in the skin as well. Externally, what it does, it helps to hide any wrinkles, not just hide wrinkles, hide open pores. So it gives that skin that nice canvas, basically. And then the other ingredient is kaolin clay, which is well known in the beauty industry and is used in skincare products and also in masks to help again deflame the skin and help calm the skin down while cleaning the skin at the same time. Added to this, we need pigments. So our pigments are food grade oxides and micas that are ethically sourced. So we don't get any of our pigments from India where they use child labor. And even though it's a powder, it's not like a powder that you would normally apply. It goes on with a creamy texture. So I'm just going to talk about which colors to use for which skin tones, and then I'm going to show you how you would apply this particular foundation. Now what I have done, I have pressed the powder so you can see the colors more easily here. So you go from the lightest of skins going right through to a reddy brown color and a yellowish brown color. So most people's skins are usually warm undertones or cool undertones. So starting with cool undertones, the population, usually it's 60% of the population have what they call cool undertones to the skin. So this is skin tone that has a pink, blue or violet undertone. And how you know if you've got a cool undertone skin is if you get compliments when wearing colours like hot pink, royal blue, purple or white. So two colours that work really well here is canvas and sand. These are cool undertone foundations that are good for cool undertone skins. And then we go to warm yellow undertones. So people who have a warm undertone have a yellowish hue to the skin, and they get the most compliments when wearing colours like gold, brown or ivory. And for example, someone with red hair and fair skin. So in order to cover those bases, we have something called fawn and sunny, and these are both good for people who have a warm undertone skin. And then as we get deeper, these are good, these deeper colours are a combination of warm and cool. For example, the deepest colours that we carry here is terracotta and warm sand. So this has a yellow undertone and this has a red undertone. And then these colours are kind of more of a neutral and also cool, so tawny and also warm velvet. So these are useful for tan skins or Asian skin colours. So how do you apply them? Well, first of all, in the beginning stages of using mineral makeup, most people would get a kabuki brush and, for example, a big fat brush, and then they would just brush it in, knock off the excess and go all over the place. And that would leave a mess everywhere, frankly. And that put a lot of people off mineral makeup, which frankly, if it's done right, is easier to apply than using liquid foundation. So what I use always, if you're covering up blemishes, now this foundation also is not just a foundation, it's also concealer. So if we're going to use this foundation to conceal, then we would use a small brush. So this is a large eyeshadow brush could be used for, or a small foundation brush. So this is very small. So using this is my eyeshadow brush. So if I'm going to cover any blemishes, so for example, my skin, I tend to get red marks around my nose where my glasses always catch. And I also have open pores that I like to hide around my nose and around my chin. So that's the blemishes, so-called blemishes I have. I don't have any spots, fortunately. But it'd be the same process whether you have red, even open sores, spots, zits, rosacea if you have a lot of redness around your cheeks, or if you even have a lot of blotchiness. So how you would do this is you literally, instead of brushing on, you would get a little bit of the powder in your brush and you would stipple on. You don't brush on. So I'm just going to do it on my nose. So I stipple wherever I've got any little red spots or any open pores until I can see that it's well covered. And then what you then do, your fingertips have natural oil in them. So then you rub over the area with your fingers. It's far better than a brush in this case, because the oil will leave it that nice creamy texture, the natural oil in your fingertips. So you use clean hands, just wipe over. If you need to reapply, then you just carry on again and do more stippling on the area. Now, that's generally all I do to my face on a daily basis. But if you wish to have like an all over, like a nice canvas, I call it, then you can use then your big brush and then you just put a little bit, less is more is best, and just tap off the rest. Make sure you don't have too much on your brush, and then you can just brush it on over your face and it will give a nice glow, and it won't look mask-like you've got a foundation. Now, if you do wish to have a liquid foundation, you can use our cream, which is our Aroma Moisture Cream. It's designed to work with the foundation. So it comes with a little bowl naturally occurring. You just press down, you get a little bit of cream there. And then I'm going to use the brush that I used before with my liquid foundation. Take a little bit of the powder and you mix it into the cream until you have, which is basically a liquid foundation. So the more pigment you put in, the more coverage it will have, and then you can just apply it as you would normally a foundation, and use your fingers afterwards to smooth out the edges. So that is how you would make this into a liquid foundation. The beauty of this particular bowl is that it just cleans off, and then it doesn't leave any dirt, and you can just then use it as a moisturizer again. Now, the other thing with these foundations, although there's only 8 colours, there is multi-use to these. So for example, for myself, if I wish to add a little bit of a shader and contour to my face, then I could use one of these deeper shades. So I use this colour normally for myself, so I could use a deeper colour, like for example the warm velvet, or I could even use a darker, but be very careful because it isn't dark, and just contour lightly underneath with a brush again, probably a thinner brush, just a little bit underneath, around the edges, around underneath, to contour the face. Make sure you blend really well in so you don't see any edges, and that is your contouring done. So that is our mineral foundation. I've always had a motto where you want your product to look good, so it covers up the blemishes, to do good, in other words, to help heal the blemishes by being anti-inflammatory, antifungal, antibacterial, and also to feel good as well. So you don't want to feel like you've got a lot of foundation on. You want to feel like your skin can still breathe. So if you have any questions, please contact me. Bye for now. The makeup that I used for the video today is as follows. I used my new foundation, which acts as a concealer as well as a foundation. And I started off by covering up some blemishes. So I've got some little red patches that are on my upper nose here, and then some open pores on the side of my nose, on the top of my nose, and on my chin. So I just literally got the small brush, dipped in and stippled on, used my fingers to smooth out. For my general face, I used the big, larger brush, and I just used sparingly one layer on my face. So the foundation I used was my powder foundation, which is titanium free, and it's called Canvas. Normally, sometimes I usually add a shader, but I didn't do that today. For a blush, I used my lipstick, and I used the Come Here lipstick, which is my favourite lipstick for myself. And I also just added a couple of dabs just onto my cheekbones and just applied very sparingly onto my cheekbones, just a little bit of a glow. Usually I use this foundation also underneath my eyebrows, so I use that more as a highlighter. So I use the Canvas eyeshadow just underneath my eyebrows. And then I did my eyebrows next. I used my eyebrow pencil in Blonde, first of all, on my eyebrows. And then for filming, I tend to make them a little bit stronger, so I use a brow powder that we make, which is a brown eye powder, and I used a small brush, and I brushed onto to make them stand out a little bit more for my eyebrows. To make the smoky eye, I used a Allure eyeshadow around the outside. I'm going to take off my glasses. Around the outside and just over the top on the lid. And I put champagne underneath on the inside and on the actual just above the eye, and I used the champagne again on top of the foundation and blended it really well in. And then I used Snow White with a small brush just to stipple a little bit on the inside of my eye, on the inside, and on top just a little bit in the middle of the eye. This, when you apply a little bit there and a little bit there and a little bit here, it opens up the eyes. So I then blended it really well in. I then used my new mascara. This is the brown mascara that I used, and I used the mascara brush and dipped it in some water, and I brushed across and then up. I did this a couple of times, allowed it to dry in between coats. I brushed up and I brushed out, I didn't use any on the lower lashes. What I do use underneath is I use a pencil that is made from the Allure colour. It's a brownie bronze. Underneath the lower lashes, just a little bit, to give that kind of smoky eye look. So that is all I used. Basically, it doesn't take me long to apply my makeup, 5 minutes. So I have a 3-in-1 palette here that I do, which has got the Allure, Champagne and Snow White, which I basically make because that's the colours I tend to use for my smoky look. So I do hope you found this useful, and have a great day wherever you may be, and bye for now.